everybody and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about my Sephora recommendations. As many of you guys know, Sephora is having their spring sale where, like, depending on the status that you have, whether you are Rouge, VIB or Insider, you get certain percentage off. It's either 20, 15 or 10, and you know, Sephora does this twice a year, so you could practically purchase anything on their website for some money off. And I'm going to be showing you guys how to get this makeup and the products that I recommend. These are stuff that I've been having for a very long time, things that I've tried and things that I really enjoy, things that I would definitely would repurchase. The first thing that I would like to talk about is the SUPERGOOP glow stick. This is a sunscreen. I used it in many of my videos. This is one of those things that I really like. As you can see, it's clear. It's just a gel. And the reason why I would like to recommend this, or the reason why I like it so much, is that this one is so thin. Like, the consistency, it literally feels like you're just applying like a little gel on your skin. It's very lightweight, it's very thin. I really enjoy it. My skin absorbs it so quickly and I love it because it's SPF 50. It doesn't give you that white cast on the skin, and it's really nice to wear it under makeup foundation. The next thing that I would like to talk about is the Milk Makeup, what is this? The Hydro Grip. This primer is so good. I really enjoy it. One of the reasons why I like it is because I noticed that whenever I wear this, my foundation tends to last a little bit longer. Since it has that gripping property to it, anything that you put on top will stick a little bit better and it will last a lot longer. So for me, it's one of those things that I like to apply it as a primer. I don't use it alone. You could, but I have other things that I like to, I have to prime. This is kind of like a jelly, and I like to apply this more in the outer parts of my face, only because I tend to be a little more dry. It's very lightweight. It feels very nice on the skin. It does give you that tacky finish. The next thing that I want to talk about is the TATCHA, the Silk Canvas Primer. I have a little one. In reality, you don't need a lot. Like, I've been having this for a few months and I've only like made a dent, and I use it quite often. I like this primer because it does help with the appearance of pores. I apply too much. It does help to fill in those pores. It has very good skincare ingredients, so not only you are priming your skin and you're trying to get rid of those pores, but you also applying really good skincare. You could use it all over your skin. You could use it alone. I normally only apply it on this parts of my face. Sometimes I apply a little bit of my chin. I like the way that it fills in my pores, and it makes everything that you put on top, it makes it look so smooth, and it's just a really good primer, like, in general. If you don't wear any makeup, it's really good. Like, you could apply it and then, you know, it would just blur out your pores. And then the last primer, I know there are a lot of primers that I am recommending, but they all serve a purpose in my routine. The next primer I want to recommend is this one. This one is by Makeup Forever. This is the Step 1. This primer comes in like a little squeezy tube. This is also the mini size, and this is what it looks like. And this primer, I like to use it only in my nose, because that's the part that I'm the most oily. That's the part where, like, my foundation will wear off pretty quickly. And I notice that whenever I wear this primer, I don't look as oily as I would normally do. It's also very smoothing. So if you are very oily and you're like, not a lot of things work for you, I would definitely recommend this one. You can buy the little one. I believe the little one ranges for like $12–13, so you could try it. Overall, this is a really good primer, especially for the summertime, like, because it makes your foundation last longer. The oils don't break through as quickly. I mean, eventually they will, but I've noticed that with this primer, my makeup would last a little bit longer in that sense. So those are the 3 primers that I recommend. They're really good. Like, as you saw, they all have a purpose. I use the gripping primer more for like hydration and just for the foundation to stick better. The TATCHA is more for my pores, so I only use it on this part. And the Makeup Forever Step 1, that's the one that I will use in my T-zone. Depending on what is it that you're looking for, those are my 3 recommendations. One of my favorite foundations is this Laura Mercier Flawless Lumière Radiant-Perfecting Foundation. I know that this foundation is advertised to be a radiant foundation, but in my skin, I don't notice that that's the case. I have combination skin, and obviously I prime my different areas, but I don't notice that it does give you a luminosity, but in my skin, it tends to be more of it's not a completely matte finish, but it is also not very dewy. I like to apply it with the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Complexion Foundation. So what I will normally do, I will start buffing it in. It does have more of a medium to full coverage depending on how much you apply and how you apply it. Obviously, if you apply it with the sponge, it will give you more of a sheer finish, and then with the brush it will give you more of a full coverage. It's also very buildable, so you can just apply 1 pump and it would kind of like just even out, but then if you apply a little bit more, you can easily get medium to full coverage. Also depends on like if you have a lot of stuff in your skin, a lot to cover. This brush is one of my favorite brushes for foundation. I like how easy it blends everything. I like the size. I like that you could pretty much do a lot with this brush. And since it's dual-ended, it does come with this side that you can use for concealer. This is what the foundation looks like. As you can see, it doesn't give you a very like radiant finish. For me, it's more of a natural finish. I don't think it's extremely radiant or anything like that. To me, it's more of a medium, and I like the coverage. I like that it's very lightweight. It doesn't feel like you're wearing foundation, although it gives you a really nice coverage. It's also very long wearing. I've used it in a lot of people, and no matter what skin type you have, it normally works. For concealer, I have the Hourglass. This one is the Vanish Airbrush Concealer. This concealer is fairly new. It came out not too long ago. And I like this concealer because it's very lightweight. It has a really good coverage. You don't need a lot, like you really don't need a lot. The slightest amount will give you really good coverage. It's pretty lightweight, and I noticed that it doesn't crease on me at all. It does oxidize, so when I first apply it, obviously it's gonna look a little bit lighter, but as it warms up with your skin, obviously the color will shift a little. I have a very creasy under eye, so it's really hard for me to find concealers that would last without creasing or without me having to like set them with a bunch of powder or even baking. So this concealer is really nice. It's very, like I said, it's very lightweight. It lasts a very long time, and a little bit goes a long way. As you can see, I didn't apply a lot, just whatever came in the applicator, and it completely got rid of anything that I wanted to cover. If you are the type of person that don't like to set your concealer, this concealer is really good. Like I said, it doesn't crease. You do have to, like, after you apply it, you will have to go over it like normal, like all the concealers. But if you don't want to set it, you have very dry skin, this concealer is so good. It's very hydrating. It lasts a very long time. As you can see, it brightened up my eyes, like my face a lot. Another concealer that I really like, concealer foundation, is the Pat McGrath, the new one. I did a full dedicated video talking about the concealer. I also talk about the foundation palette, so I'm not going to be talking about any of those products in this video, but I'll link it up here so that you could see. To set the concealer, one of the powders that I been having for quite a while and I really like is the Laura Mercier, what is this called? The Secret Brightening Powder. This is on the loose format. It's not the original, the all-time Laura Mercier setting powder. That one is different. This one is specifically for the under eye. It comes in a smaller packaging like this. It has a little bit of a sheen. It's not glitter or anything like that. It's just, it's supposed to help you brighten that under eye. This powder is not meant for baking. This is just to set the under eye, but I love this powder. I noticed that whenever I just want to set my concealer, I could just apply it and it would set my under eye without making it look cakey, and it gives you the most beautiful blurred effect under the eye. The reason why I also like this powder is because I noticed that it doesn't darken my concealer. A lot of the under eye setting powders will darken your concealer, but that's not the case with this one. I really enjoy it. I use it with all my concealers and it never changes the color. It just works really good. It blurs everything. It leaves your under eye looking very fresh and blurred, and you look more awake. Also, this brush, this is the Charlotte Tilbury powder and sculpting brush. This is another one of those brushes that it's really good. And right now, Charlotte Tilbury doesn't really go on sale ever. So right now would be a perfect time that if you are looking to invest in a really good brushes, this one, it's really good. You could use it for your under eye powder, you could use it for contour, you could use it for your powder. Like if you're just trying to set your face, you could use this brush too. It's really good. And her brushes, the handles are made out of wood, so they're very sturdy, but they're not heavy. And the bristles are so soft. Like there's some of the most soft brushes that I've ever tried. I remember when I first got it, I would continue to play with it because it's just so soft. And I don't know what it is, but I've noticed that with the products, like no matter what kind of products you use, if you have really good brushes, you can make anything work, like anything. And this Charlotte Tilbury brushes are really good. They last a very long time, and like I said, they're like so soft. And I think the shape of this brush is so like perfect. You could use it pretty much for anything, or you can even use it carry it in your purse, and to retouch, like if you're oily, you could just retouch like this. And this brush is perfect. I really like it. I actually own 3 of these because I like them so much. And that's another thing, right now that they're having a sale, I like to invest in things like this, like the brushes or the more high-end makeup. For setting powder, I have this Hourglass, the Belle Translucent powder, and I have to say, this powder, it's not the typical powder that you want to use for baking. This is just mainly to set your makeup. It's very lightweight, and I'm gonna use it in a Sephora Pro Flawless light powder brush. The Sephora brushes, they're also really good. So I will grab this powder and like just tap it all over my face. I love this powder to set my foundation because this doesn't change the color of my foundation, and I do notice that it gives you a slight luminous finish. This powder is literally just to set your face, to make sure that you get rid of that tackiness. It does give you that slightly blurring effect, so you won't see pores or stuff like that. Like, it's a really nice powder. For contour, one of my favorite things to contour with is cream, and whether it's in a stick or a pan, you know, I normally gravitate towards more of a cream contour only because I find it a lot easier to work with. This is actually a bronzer. It's a matte bronzer by Milk Makeup, and I have it in the shade Blaze. And the reason why I like this bronzer is because it's so creamy and it's so easy to blend, and you can use it on top of powder and it would look just fine. And I normally just grab a sponge and I would just blend it, and I really like it. Like, as you can see, at first when you apply it, it looks really dark, but as soon as you start blending it, it would look so pretty. And it kind of like melts into the skin. I had a lot of things from Milk. They're one of those brands that like almost everything I've tried has worked. I still have to try the setting powder. I purchased it not too long ago and it's just sitting downstairs. For powder bronzer, this one by Fenty. This is the Fenty Beauty Sunstalker, and I have mine in the shade Shady Biz. This is what it looks like. This is a matte bronzer, and I love these bronzers. And my favorite bronzer brush is this one by Kat Von D. This is a number 20, and I think this is just a powder brush. So what I like to do is I like to take a little bit on the brush, and then I tap the axis, and I use this to kind of like set the cream bronzer. You definitely don't have to do this. That's just what I like to do. But these bronzers are really, really good. You literally just need the slightest amount and you apply it and it will look so nice and pretty. And they have a lot of shades. So if you're looking for a matte bronzer, this is really, really good. This is like hands down one of my favorites. I remember when I bought it, I bought the little one because I wanted to try it. And after trying the little one, I was like, yeah, I do like it. So I ended up buying the full size. Okay, so once I'm all bronzed, for blush, one of my favorite blushes, like it's really hard for me to pick just one blush, only because blush is one of those things that I buy a lot and I just like a lot, and I like all the colors and I like all the textures. I like cream, powder, like any kind of blush. I'm always so curious and I want to try all of them. But my favorite, hands down, is this one by Patrick Tom. Monochrome Moment Velvet Blush. And I have mine in the shade She's Sincere. What it looks like. It has more of a peachy kind of tone, and I really, really like these blushes because they're not crazy pigmented to the point that you grab a little with your brush and you apply it and you get color, but you don't get a crazy amount of color. Like, it's just enough to wear, like, if you just like it like that, you could just leave it. Or if you like a more pigmented blush, you can apply more. And it's so easy to build up and it's so pretty. At first, when you, like, obviously when you swatch it, you you are able to see the color, but you don't see a lot. So you would just continue to build up. But it gives you the most beautiful color. It's so, like, they're just so pretty. The packaging is so pretty. Like, it just the whole thing. Like, these blushes are some of my favorite. Like, this is the type of blush that if you don't have a lot of makeup, or if you don't want to have a lot of makeup, like something like this, it's really nice. It's matte, it's long lasting, it's buildable. It's just so pretty. I really enjoy this type of blushes. For finishing powders slash kind of like highlighting powders, mine is all beat up because it's so old. But any of the ambient lighting palettes from Hourglass, like as you could see, mine is like, yeah. Especially this shade on Radiant Light. So these powders they give you that luminous finish, kind of like lit from within. So I like to dust this powders like in the perimeters of my face. As you can see, it gives you like a slight highlight on your skin. I like to use this for the outers of my face. You also get two highlights. Yeah, you get the dim line and the incandescent. So these are more like highlighters, and then this one, it's more of a luminous powder. As you can see, I'm like almost done with this one, with the luminous powder, because it's one of those powders that you apply and it doesn't make you look greasy, it doesn't make you look oily. It just gives you that little bit of radiance to your skin. And if you've never tried Hourglass, this is a great way to try the products because you get 3 and they last a very long time. Like, honestly, I thought that this powder was like endless. Like, I would even tell my friends, like, I don't even know that you could hit pan on Hourglass powders, but obviously you can. For highlighter, I would like to recommend this Milk Makeup. This is a Milk Makeup Flex highlighter, and I have mine in the shade Ice. I don't know if you can see it. This is kind of like a goldish color, and this is the Sephora Pro Fan Brush. This is my favorite brush for highlight. As you can see, it's very fluffy and it's very thin, but it applies the highlight like no other. Like this is like by far, this is like my favorite fan brush. So what I normally do is like I'll grab a little bit of this, top of the axis, and just fan it. And this highlighter it gives you the most beautiful light to your cheekbones. It looks so pretty. I remember when I first tried it, I was so in love. And another reason why I like this highlighters is because if you apply very little, it gives you a kind of like a more subtle type of highlight, but you could definitely build them up. And this brush is amazing. Like I've tried a lot of fan brushes, but honestly, by far, like this is my very favorite. And it's not too thin and it's not too thick. I have a few fan brushes, and sometimes I notice that like they're either too thick or they're too thin, that they don't pick up enough product, or if they're too thick, I find that like it gives like a huge line. But this one is just like thin and fluffy at the same time. I feel like it blends the highlight so beautiful that it looks so pretty. For brows, I have two brow pencils. So the first one is the Nude Sticks. This is what it's called, and this is the Eyebrow Stylist pencil. The brow pencil, it's good, it's a brow pencil, but the reason why I really like this is because of the gel. So on the bottom it comes with the gel, and this gel is so good. Honestly, it's one of those, like I've never found anything like it. It literally keeps your brows in place. Like once you apply that gel, your brows would not go anywhere, like anywhere. Like if you like that feathery brow, like that kind of more of a editorial type of brow, that gel is so good because it gives you that furry effect, but it keeps your brows in place. The other brow pencil that I really like is this one by Urban Decay. This is the Brow Blade. I love this. It has that kind of like a felt tip applicator on one side, and it has a brow pencil on the other side. I love this brow pencil. It's like one of my favorites, and I like that it's so thin, so it's very easy to like draw in your brows. I'll show you how I use them. First, I comb my brows. I like to comb them upward. I would normally go first with the brow pencil side on the brow blade, and then I would start drawing little hairs upward just to kind of like give my brow some shape. And after I have like kind of like the shape that I want with the actual like little like marker type of side, so this one you would hold it down this way, and then you would just kind of like pull it up just to kind of mimic your brow hairs. And I really like it. It did took me quite some time to get a hang of this, because at first I was just drawing it and it wasn't like, I would be like, oh, this doesn't work. But once I get the hang of it, it's actually quite easy, especially if you like that kind of like feathery brow. It's really good. And then at the end I will go with the gel. I would recommend you to start in the middle, not necessarily in the front, only because since there's a lot of product on the actual like spoolie, you'll get a lot of it in the front, and sometimes it doesn't look that great. And this is what the brows will look like. As you can see, it gives it like a very feathery look. I really like it. For eye primer, I have this is the Fenty Beauty, the eye primer. I have mine in the mini size only because I bought it in a little set. But I have to tell you, this eye primer is so good. It has a little bit of a tint, kind of like a color, but it's so lightweight. I have kind of like normal eyelids. They're not very oily, but they're also not super dry. I really don't have any like major issues with them, other than, you know, obviously I want my eyeshadow to last a very long time. But this eye primer is so good, and I like it because I noticed that it doesn't shift the shade of the actual shadows. Like, it just gives you whatever the color you're trying to apply. That's the color that you get. And also, I do notice that my eyeshadow will last a lot longer with it. I also notice that it kind of like smooths, like it fills in any little pores or anything that I might have in my like in my eye, in my eyelids. It would help with that. It also helps a lot with the creasing. I really like it. I think it's a really good eye primer. Eyeshadow palettes. Some of my favorite eyeshadow formula is the Natasha Denona. This one is the Metropolis palette, and I also have two of the minis, mini Lila palette and the mini Tropic palette. And these are the two little ones that I have. The Metropolis palette is a limited edition, but they still sell it. So if you've been eyeing it, I think this would be the time to pick it up. And obviously, actually, you get a lot of shades. You know, you get a lot of variety, a lot of things that you can do with it. I really enjoy it. First shade I'm gonna apply is this one right here. It's very nice. Her eyeshadows are very pigmented, and they also so buttery, like especially the shimmer shades. They feel like they feel kind of like cream shadows. We're gonna go with this shade right here. I'm gonna apply this more to the crease, kind of make it like a transition shade. The nice thing about these eyeshadows is that they literally do the work for you. You don't have to like sit there and blend for hours. They're very buttery, so they blend so easily. They're just so pretty. Honestly, when I would hear about Natasha Denona and I would see the price tag, I would always wonder, like, is it really worth it? Like, are they very different than just regular eyeshadows? And honestly, it hurts my heart to say, but they're just so unique. You do get, like, the quality of them are so good that it's really, once you try them, once you've had one, you just know. You just know. There are obviously a lot of other good eyeshadow palettes and stuff like that, but honestly, Natasha Denona, it's one of those things that once you try it, it's really hard to just not. Now for the outer, I'm gonna be trying this color right here. This is more of a, it's the same kind of like an olivey tone, and this I'm just gonna focus in the outer corner, just to kind of like make the eye look a little bit more smoky. This color right here. And I'm going to be applying that with my finger, only because I prefer to apply shimmers with the finger, only because I feel like you have a little bit more control, you don't have a lot of fallout, and it's a little bit easier. With the same brush that I use for my outer crease, I'm going to be dipping into this color right here, just to kind of like mash the two together. And then I'm going to apply this just to this outer part right here, just to kind of like blend the two colors together so it doesn't look like there's a huge gap in between. For the lower lash line, I'm going to grab a little brush like this, and then I would start with this color right here, and then I will go with the darker green that we applied. So I just did a little wing. This one is the Kat Von D, the little tattoo liner. I'm just trying to use it up. I don't have a favorite or anything that I could say I would recommend as far as eyeliner goes, because I'm still testing a few out and I'm still looking for an eyeliner myself. But if you have any recommendations or any really good black eyeliners, please let me know in the comments, because I am looking for one. Like, I do need to get one. Now for mascara, I talked about this recently in my favorites video, so I'm not gonna talk a lot about it, but it's this Velvet Noir mascara. So this mascara, it's really good. As you can see, it gives you volume, it makes your eyes look more open, and I just really enjoy it. Okay, so for the lips, I'm gonna be using the Hourglass You Are Mine. So these come, okay, so this is the replacement. Usually you would get the lipstick and it comes in a packaging like this, and then this is the lipstick. And then you could, once you buy like the actual, like the container, you can buy the little like kind of like replacements. So this one you'll only buy one time, and then you could just buy separate like different shades. My favorite shade is You Are Mine, and this one was a gift from a friend of mine for one of my birthdays. As you can see, it's like they're so pigmented and creamy. This is what the lipstick looks like. This is my very favorite color in general. They have many shades. Another lip product that I really enjoy is this one by Patrick Ta, and this is called the Major Glow Lip Shine. And this is what it looks like. Sorry, mines are very well loved. And this is so beautiful. So this is like a gloss, but it has the most beautiful like shine to them. And I love this glosses, because as you can see, they're not sticky, they last a very long time, and they give you this most beautiful finish. In pictures, these look amazing. If you're like me and you have very pigmented lips, this is beautiful because you could just apply to your lips and then you could just go. They make your lips look so plump and juicy and glittery, and like they just look so pretty. They last a very long time. You could like practically apply them on top of whatever you want. They really don't, I mean, they have kind of like a sheen to them, but like a kind of like a color, but like the color is very like subtle. Like you can hardly see a color. It's kind of like a pinkish type of color, and they look so pretty on the lips. Like it's one of those things that you applied and you can go on with your day and you could just forget about, because they like wear so beautiful on the lips. Obviously it's a gloss and it is gonna transfer, but it's like the formula is just so lightweight on your lips. For setting spray, this is another one that I recently talked about in my favorites video, but this is the Versali Rose Gold Skin Mist. So these are all my Sephora recommendations. These are all the products I love and enjoy. I hope you like this video. Please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what is it that you will be picking up, if you are going to be picking up anything in particular, or if there's anything that you think I should try. Please leave it in the comments down below. I would really appreciate. Well, once again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your time. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.